Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. It's actually very important to sing, you know. When we come to the temple, it's really nice to take darshan, but singing is an expression of love. It's like when we communicate with someone, you know, when we are in a relationship with someone, imagine we are with a person and we are just in silence. You know, after some time, the relationship becomes either boring or like superficial. So when we come in contact with God, we really want to open our hearts and talk to Him and sing for Him, dance for Him. We want to be here not only in a passive way, but active way, right? So we want to really try that. And sometimes we think, oh, but I don't know how to sing. But singing is just like a muscle, you know. We just have to use it like any type of practice and it will come. So whenever we want to try to sing, let's just, you know, do it from the heart and it will come out really, really nice. So please do repeat after me. Close your palms in front of your heart. This is a prayer for the Bhagavad Gita so that we can get the mercy to understand. You also please close your palms. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again, I say it first and then you repeat, okay? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Louder, please. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are exploring a very, very important topic. This topic is actually very relevant to our lives as well. So please, let's pay attention to it. So we are talking about chapter 3 called Karma Yoga, and we are in text number 40. I will just read the Sanskrit and then we will read what Prabhupada is saying about it. Indriyani mano buddhir asyadishtana muchate etar vimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. See how beautiful is this verse. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. So remember, lust is going to be the topic of today. Through them, so through the senses, the mind, and intelligence, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Purport. The enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. And therefore, Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places, so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can be found. Mind is the center of all the activities of the senses. And thus, when we hear about sense objects, the mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. And as a result, the mind and the senses become the repositories of lust. Next, the intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next-door neighbor of the spirit soul. Lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire the false ego and identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and the senses. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. This false identification of the spirit soul is very nicely explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. A human being who identifies this body made of 3 elements with his self, who considers the byproduct of the body to be his kinsman, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a cow. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, what did we just read? Let's see what Prabhupada is telling us about this beautiful topic. So we have the senses, and the senses are, like we have the touch, and we have the eyes, and we have the smell, we have the taste, all these are the senses that we are constantly using in some way. And very often we are dissatisfied. Even if you look at the phone, are you staying on the same image all the time? No, because you are dissatisfied after some time. You want to look at something new. You are looking at a movie or a video, and then you scroll to the next one, and then to the next one, and then to the next one. Or even like a beautiful place, sometimes we go to a very beautiful nature place, but then we are like, okay, now I want to go to something else. I want to see something else. Or maybe we are eating something, and our wife or husband cooked really nice, wonderful prasadam for us, and the next day cooks the same, and the next day again the same, and then again the same, and then we are like, can I have something different, please? Because we are dissatisfied. We are always looking for something new. We are dissatisfied when the same thing is happening over and over, because we are getting bored of what we already had a taste with. And this is related with anything that gives us pleasure. So it can be food, it can be sometimes even a relationship. There are even people who are in a relationship and after some time they get bored. It's like, I might look for someone else. This person looks better. This person looks more sweet. This person is younger. This person is stronger. This person is more mature than what I have, right? So there is always this feeling of dissatisfaction. I am with something or someone or some situation and I'm dissatisfied, and thus I want to change it. I want something new. So this is the burning feeling of lust that Prabhupada describes as being an energy of pleasure that is so intense that sometimes we just roll our mind towards that direction and we just think about that. So it is something that we are projected towards that because we are hoping to get pleasure from it. So that is lust, is pleasure. And it's not only the sexual pleasure, it's pleasure in all the senses that we might have. Anything that we want to seek pleasure, there is lust. And lust is just part of the living entity. We are always looking for pleasure, all the time. In the way we dress, in the way we do something to ourselves, the way we taste something, any type of relationship, we are looking for pleasure. And when in the beginning we are getting that pleasure, it's all fine. But when we don't get that pleasure, we get disappointed, we get upset, we get frustrated, because there was a certain attachment towards the pleasure, not towards the person. Have you ever been in a relationship where in the beginning, you would look at the person with, the hearts in the eyes, and then after like few years, you have like plates to throw in your eyes, rather than the hearts. It's like, what happened? The person is the same. But the way that the person was giving me or is not giving me pleasure has changed. So I'm frustrated. You are not giving me what you are supposed to do. Be a man. Give me what I need. Be a woman. Is that how a woman is supposed to behave? And you're not giving me what I want and what I deserve. So there is frustration, and then there is anger. There is incompatibility. And there is then the lack of emotional support, or this like feeling of emptiness that is felt inside. Then the person is looking for something else abroad. And the same thing is happening also with the toys for children. Have you ever seen that children have a toy and they play with the toy, and after some time they want a new toy? And after some time, they see another toy and they say, I want that one. Mom, I want that toy. Give it to me, please. I want it. Please buy to me. I will be nice, girl. Please buy to me. And then we are buying it. And then suddenly what happens is that they want a new toy. Right? And then, everyone is buying new toys, and suddenly what happens is that the child is playing with that toy for a little bit of time, and then they just forget it in the ocean of nations, somewhere there. And actually, we are seeing this with children, but we are doing exactly the same thing. We have our toys in our life. It can be a cell phone. It can be a car, it can be a house, it can be a job, it can be clothing. Have you ever had that experience of shopping? And it's like, we open our cupboard and it's filled with clothes. It's filled with lots of things, and still we are thinking, I need something else. Do we have this experience, or do I only have this experience? Right? And also, I sometimes go to people's houses and I see enormous amount of shoes. And then you have the shoes for the house, the shoes for the bathroom, and the shoes to go out, and the shoes to be casual, and the shoes to go jogging, and the shoes to go in mountain bike, and shoes for this. And it's like incredible. Like, we have so many attachments to sense gratification, and we think we need so many things. And we're all the time looking for new things, new things. Why? Because we are looking for pleasure. And we're looking for pleasure sometimes also in food. We are cooking and we are like bored of our cooking. Has it ever happened to you that you are bored of your own cooking? And then you're like, what, today I'm going to eat in the restaurant. We want pleasure. We are seeking for something different. So that can be with our outfit, like the way we are dressing. And sometimes it can be like for women, it's sometimes easier. We do like a drastic change of our, haircut and everything, because we want just something different. We are dissatisfied with what we already have. We want something new. Why do we want something new? Because we are bored. And what does boredom mean? That we are not feeling pleasure anymore. And we are pleasure-seeking beings. Inside ourselves, there is that pleasure-seeking potency. So we want pleasure. But there is something interesting that happens to ourselves. That when we come in contact with material nature, as soon as we come in contact, there is an amazing energy that we come in contact with. It's an energy which is so powerful. And it's an energy of illusion. It's such a powerful energy that we don't even know that she's there. This energy is there. And we are looking at the energy and we start identifying with something or someone that we are not. But we still have that propensity to want to seek pleasure. We still want gratification. We want still that bliss. We are still looking for it. But now there is something different. There is illusion involved. So what happens when our natural tendency to want to feel pleasure is mixed with illusion? That's when we come into the society, the marketing, the business. Wherever you see, there is propaganda about, buy this and you will be happy. Get this and you will, be peaceful. Do this and you will be healthy. Take this and you will have whatever you need, right? And we're always looking for that. We are looking for the perfect cream. We are looking for the perfect shampoo. We are looking for the perfect clothes. Oh, if I put that clothes like that, I will look like that person on the board. And then I will be, and then people will appreciate me. And then people finally will love me. So where is it coming from? It's coming from a platform where we don't have self-confidence anymore. So we need to look in a certain way and we have to buy things. And why do we have so much, why are we giving so much importance in what other people think about us? Because it gives us pleasure. If people appreciate us, ooh, thank you. Oh, yes, you understood my glories. Yes, that's right. I'm great. Yes, you understood it. Yes, I'm very intelligent. Yes, you got the point. So we are looking for that people recognize us. And when people recognize us, we feel pleasure. We are looking for that pleasure all the time. We are looking for it in the relationship with our parents, with our children. Why is it so frustrating very often, the relationship with our children? Because they don't give us appreciation. They give us for granted, right? And it's like, oh yeah, but you are the mother or you are the father, that's your job, that's what you're supposed to do. And sometimes even in a company, the boss does like that. How frustrating is it to work with someone who gives your service as for granted? And how much nicer it is when someone is actually appreciating you and being grateful to you. And why is it so important is that because it gives us pleasure. And pleasure is such an important energy because it's like an engine that makes us go forward. It stimulates us. It helps us to do something, to achieve something. But there is a big problem with all this, that we are covered by an energy of illusion. What does it mean? That our pleasure is distorted to material, temporary things. So if I get an iPhone, the next time I want a new version of the iPhone. Do you have that experience? Oh, mine is so old. I need to upgrade my iPhone. Do you have that experience? Or like the car. Oh, I need a new car. I need a new house. I need something new, a new dress. Everything is new because we are constantly looking for that inner satisfaction through the material things. And the interesting thing is that we are not satisfied. We keep buying. We keep getting things. And our house is all the time stuck with so much stuff because we are not satisfied. So we are keeping on looking for things. We are keeping on looking for things. And we are not getting what we are actually looking for. So this is what is happening inside us in our life. Is that because we are losing our connection with our real deep self, we are focusing on the external. And because we are focusing on the external, we are all the time dissatisfied. Have you ever seen, even on a screen, like a cyclone? This thing that turns around like a whirlwind? And when it turns, it messes up everything. It destroys everything, right? But you know what happens when you go in the center of that cyclone? There is absolute peace. There is peace. Everything is still. And this is exactly what is happening to us in our life. We chose to be outside in the disaster, in the material energy, in the illusory energy. And then we are wondering, why am I suffering? Life is so unjust. It's not fair that I suffer like that. I'm such a good person. The thing is, like, we are outside spinning around with the wind, and then we are wondering, why am I spinning? Why don't we get into the center? Why don't we make that conscious choice that I actually want to be in the center? But okay, how do I actually make that conscious choice to be in the center of that, this whole mess that is happening? How do I make that choice? Let me give you a real story example. So I was in India. And who has ever had the experience of the traffic in India? Please lift me the hand. Yes, okay. It can become really interesting, right? So we are in a roundabout. And the whole traffic is jam-packed. People are putting the horns, so it's like blowing. There is a lot of dust coming from everywhere. And everything is stuck. And, finally it takes us so much time to do the turning. And there, in the middle of the road, I see a cow laying down, breastfeeding her calf. And the cow was licking the calf, and she couldn't care less about the traffic, couldn't care less about what was happening. And in that moment, I thought, this is what I want to learn in my life. That although there is a lot of confusion everywhere around me, although there is disaster, there is sound, there is, disorganization, or whatever there is around in my life, I want to learn to be like that cow, to be able to continuously give nourishment to myself and to people, and not be disturbed by the external circumstances. So it's a practice. If we want to attain that center of that cyclone, it's a practice. We need to have a practice which is daily basis practice that helps us to understand, who am I above that illusion that I came in contact with. I don't want to be in this illusion. I want to go beyond this illusion. And so we came in contact with this illusion. We forgot who we are, and we are identifying, we are acting out a whole new personality, a whole new life way. But now it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to get that clarity. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the mission in my life? What am I supposed to do here? And until we are turning around and spinning in the cyclone, we are not getting the answers. Because we are too busy spinning. Who has the experience of having to work so much that you don't have time for yourself? Do you have that? Yes? Isn't life extraordinary in the way it traps us in this? We have bills. We have so many things to do. Our schedule is packed, and we don't have time. We don't have time for ourselves. Oh, you should be meditating. Oh, sorry, I don't have time. Oh, you should be reading the Bhagavad Gita. I really don't have time. You should be cultivating your inner self and understanding who you are. I don't have time. Who will pay for the bills, if I meditate? But the fascinating thing is that when we actually take that time for meditation in the morning, then what happens? Thank you. You see, then there is people who come and put lights, and suddenly there is more light in our life, right? Thank you. So we really want to get that time for meditation, because when we meditate, our time expands. You know, normally we have 24 hours, but when we meditate, our time is not 24 hours anymore. It's kind of like adding like 5 to 6 hours extra to it. It's actually, like according to business-wise, it's the most efficient thing we could do because it's time management. By doing meditation, we will become much more effective with our time. And the time will expand, our state of consciousness will expand, and we will be more blissful. And our life becomes so much easier. We will have more energy. So why not giving ourselves that time to do that meditation, to cultivate that knowledge, to be with positive people, and then see what happens to our time and life. So I would like to tell you a story. But it's a story that I tell to my children, so it's a story for children, but I actually use it also in the yoga classes, so it's also for adults, okay? So would you like to hear this story? It's not from the Shastras, and it's a story, but I think it's very significant, and it's very good for children also if you want to listen to the story. Yes? What do you think? Okay, so let's do it in a different way. Let's listen to this story with closed eyes. How do you feel about that? Yes? So let's also keep the back straight, and we want to really dive into the story and see the story with our mind. Okay, let's try that. So let's close the eyes. And there is a lot of sound on the side, people walking, people talking. It doesn't matter. Let's keep our focus inside and start breathing. And now, there is a little girl dressed in all white. And her name is Atma. And the meaning of Atma is soul. And Atma is very curious. She loves dancing, she loves singing, and she's so curious. And she's in a very beautiful world with a lot of nature, with a lot of love. Everything is extraordinary. But then she sees in distance there is something, an interesting dimension. It's a planet Earth. And she is so curious about this planet Earth because people say that once you get into the planet Earth, it's so difficult to get out of it. And she wants to understand, why is it so difficult to get out of this planet Earth? And everyone tells her, don't go there. Please don't go there. But she's so curious. Trust me, I will go and come back. And then she enters into planet Earth, and the illusion covers her completely. And her white dress changes from white to dark. And slowly, slowly, instead of dancing, she's walking. And instead of singing, she's talking. She's starting to forget who she was. And suddenly the energy is so heavy, she feels heavy. She feels so lonely, she feels so lost. She feels so confused, and she doesn't remember anymore from where she comes from. And in that pain and in that struggle, she's finally deciding to look for a solution. She knows this is not me. Who am I and where do I come from? What is my real identity? And in that quest for knowledge about the real identity, she starts exploring. And in that search of the spiritual path, finally she discovers the vibration that is going to enlighten her. A vibration that resounds in her heart. And please repeat after me this vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, everyone. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's chant it as if we are also looking for our real self. Again, together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And finally, she's waking up from that illusion and coming back to her senses and understanding her real identity. And again, her dress becomes white, effulgent, and she's awakened back to her reality. And now you can also open your eyes. This is our story. This is the story of the soul that we are lost and trapped in this illusion. And this is our journey to find back our light, to explore our true identity and be able to go back from where we belong. And sometimes we are really lost. We don't know how to do that. And trust me, the most powerful method that Srila Prabhupada brought us, which is so unique, so incredibly deep, is the sound vibration. And let me explain to you something about the sound vibration, which is a very fascinating topic. So on the scientific level, we are made out of cells, right? And the cells are made out of molecules. And the molecules are made out of atoms, yes? So the atom, it has a nucleus and then has some particles of energy flowing, moving around. And you know that if they spin too fast, the oscillation that will come out will bring a type of personality and tendency in ourselves. We will be more inclined to be angry. We will be more inclined to attachment. We will be more inclined to depression. We will be more inclined to loneliness. We will be more inclined to lust, desires, pleasure. So everything that is coming out is coming from vibration. So if we want to change all those dynamics and find our stability, our balance, our real self, then we have to work with what? How do we go into the cell and say to those little particles, hey, can you spin properly? Not too slow, not too fast? Can you please go a little bit slow, a little bit fast? No, a little bit slow, a little bit more, a little bit more. How do we do that? The way to go into that depth of level is through vibration. So Prabhupada has brought us such a deep process because he is giving us the tool of vibration. And through the vibration, we can penetrate inside the depth of ourselves and transform the unwanted things, which in Sanskrit you say anarthas, from us. All the things that are blocking us, we want to take them away. All the things that we are identifying with that are a stumbling block to our potential and who we are, we want to take that all away. And how do we do that? We need vibration. We need a healing, powerful vibration that is able to penetrate inside us and bring that transformation. So when we are chanting the Maha Mantra, it's actually resonating, it's in resonance. You know when two instruments, you are playing two instruments and they resonate. Have you ever tried that, like an instrument is playing in a certain way and you do the voice in a totally different way and it's like crashing against one another? It's not pleasant, right? But what if we make a sound and the voice is the same as the instrument? It's in resonance. It's pleasant. The same thing is in a relationship. Have you ever been in a relationship where you say something and the person replies something else? When you are meaning something and the person is not even listening to you, it means there is no resonance. So we actually want to find that resonance in life. So because resonance is pleasurable, is giving us a state of balance. So when we are chanting the Maha Mantra, we are entering into a state of resonance. With who? With what? With the soul. Because we are talking about a holy name that has a transcendental vibration, which is totally spiritual. And guess what? The soul is spiritual. So because the soul is spiritual and the vibration is spiritual, it is in resonance. And when we chant the holy name, we are waking up. To what? To our real identity. What a process! What an extraordinary process that Srila Prabhupada brought us. And still, we have such a treasure and we are not valuing it, you know. We are like doing it once in a while, whenever I feel like, maybe when I talk, maybe when I drive, maybe when I watch a TV, right? But it's really about a commitment to sit and listen to that vibration with the proper intention of surrender, of talking to Krishna. Krishna, please help me to revive my real identity so that I can fully surrender. Let me serve you. So if we want to come to that state of pleasure, but a pleasure that is infinite, and it's eternal, which is what we are looking for, but we are looking for it in the material things and we are not satisfied. If we want to seek for that pleasure which is unlimited, then we need an unlimited source. It's so logical, right? If we want something that is unlimited and full potential, we need to take it from something that has that full power and potential. That's where we are looking for it. So what in this reality has that full eternal power? That's God. That's Krishna. That's Balaram. That's what Prabhupada brought us, a Sanatan Dharma, the eternal Dharma, the eternal nature, process that is meant for each and every being. It's not just for someone, it's actually meant for everyone. And I actually really like to say that we don't really need to change our religion. We just have to add what Prabhupada brought us, bring bhakti into what we do in our life. Bring that element of devotion and surrender into our process. And when we bring bhakti into it, whatever our practice is, becomes so beautiful, so intense. It's about falling in love with God. So we really want that. And it's not because we come to the temple, then everything is fine. No, we want to fall in love with God. It's like being in a relationship and watching a movie rather than having a loving relationship with a person. Being with a person and not have any type of exchange. What kind of relationship is that? A relationship of love is based on service. It's based on trusting the other person. It's based on communication. It's based on opening our heart. So if we come to the temple and we don't open our heart to Krishna, if we come to the temple and we don't pray to Krishna, if we come to wherever we are in the world and we don't do anything for Krishna, what is that relationship? Yes? It's a superficial relationship. So we are actually looking for a deep, transformative relationship with God, but it will also reflect on the way we are having relationship in our life. That depth, can we bring it also with the people? So in that connection with God, when we are connecting with Krishna, and imagine the name Krishna, the all attractive, something that is attractive, isn't that giving pleasure? Right? So if we want that eternal pleasure seeking, we have to connect to the one who is all attractive, the one who is capable of giving us immense pleasure. And Krishna does it in such a unique way that he gives us and he takes it back. He gives us more and he takes it back. And then we are like getting some taste. Have you ever had the experience of eating a tiny little bit piece of cake and wanting more of it? Right? Just a little taste and we want more. That's what Krishna is. You know, he gives us a little taste and then we are hungry for him. I want more of you. I'm just hungry for you. So it's really about like Krishna knows how to do it. Give a little bit, take away. And then we don't have it and we're like, oh, where is the sweet? Where is the cake? Where is it? You know, where do I find it? So he makes us addicted to him through love. And, you know, some New Age philosophies, they say, oh, there should be no attachments. It's like, what do you mean? We should be fully attached to Krishna. It's about what are we attached to. Because sometimes we are attached to something that is not giving us connection to our real identity. It's actually deviating us. And that's bad. Let's take that away. But if we are attached to someone who is giving us that unlimited pleasure and giving us the vision and knowledge about who we are and the purpose of our existence, then why not? Let's just surrender to that identity, to that personality. You know, that's Krishna. So we do want to change this lust. You know, Prabhupada is saying, so where are these lust? In 3 places, we said. Let's see if somebody remembers. 3 places where the lust is residing, just like an enemy, from where it starts from. The mind, the intelligence, and the senses, right? So the senses, the mind, and intelligence, these are the 3 places where the lust is residing. So what if we utilize our senses in Krishna's service? What happens to that lust? It transforms into love. What happens if we give our mind and thinking to Krishna? It transforms the lust into love. And what happens if we channel our intelligence towards Krishna? The lust that was hidden inside transforms into love. So, you know, we have this enemy, the lust inside. And the lust, you know, as we said, is that energy of illusion which is deviating us. So that's an enemy. It's infiltrated right here. We are thinking he. They are all enemies, but actually all the enemies are inside here, right inside here. So we want to take away this enemy. But how do we do that? You know what? Let's make a strategy which is even more intelligent than that enemy that has infiltrated inside us. We should be even more intelligent. The enemy of lust has been so intelligent to infiltrate inside us and is depleting us through the senses, through the mind, and through the intelligence. It's winning, okay? Who is winning the battle? Lust is winning the battle. So let's make a strategy. We have to come up with a strategy that is even more powerful than the strategy of lust to use illusion against us. What is that strategy? Let's make lust into a devotee. Let's transform that lust. Let's preach to that lust. Let's show to this lust that if we direct our senses, our mind, our intelligence to the source of all pleasure, then it will become love. It will become much potent. We have to convince this lust that actually love is so much more intense. It's so much more pleasurable. It's so much more gratifying. So let's leave all these material things. Do we really need it like that? Let's be satisfied with what we have and direct it towards Krishna and transform lust into love. And who wins the battle? We won the battle, right? Because we tricked the lust to become love. So the enemy that Prabhupada is talking that is inside is not an enemy anymore. Actually, it becomes a alliance. Yes, you say that in English? Alliance. Yes, we are together. We are friends. We are companions. So sometimes, we have these bad qualities inside us. We shouldn't just be like, oh, no, I don't want it. Oh, my God, it's so disgusting. Oh, no, no, no. It's okay. Sometimes these bad things are inside us. Let's transform them. Let's take shelter of Krishna and see how Krishna is changing that. That enemy that is inside us in the form of anarthas, the unwanted things, we can transform them into powerful energies that we can actually engage them in Krishna's service. It's beautiful. This is alchemy, the transformation. So just to make a summary of what we said until now, we spoke about we are talking about the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And we are talking about how lust is inside the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. And how lust is able to deviate us from our real identity through the process of illusion. And we are more and more deviated. And then we said that we are all seeking for pleasure in the material things. And more material things we have, and more we want. And it's just like a fire where we are pouring ghee. And we think, oh, now it's all fine. And suddenly the flame is much stronger. So we are thinking that we are cooling down our burning desire for gratification, but rather it's only increasing. And by increasing, we are also increasing the dissatisfaction. And then we spoke about the cyclone. People are on the outside of the cyclone in the turbulence of life, on the chaos, on the disaster, disorganization, frustration, emotions. And then they are thinking, why am I so sad? Why am I like this? Because we are seeking for pleasure outside. So what happens in the eye of the cyclone, that we are actually getting the peace from inside. So we want to find that center inside ourselves. How do we do that? And in order to do that, I guided you into a meditation about the soul and the little girl called, how was the girl called? Atma, yes, the soul. And then we made the journey understanding that that soul is actually our journey as well. So we are sometimes very curious about the illusion. We want to get into the illusion and understand what is happening in that illusion. And then we enter into the illusion and we forget who we are. And then in that frustration of, this suffering, then we start the journey of self-realization. And we get the mercy by hearing the vibration. And then I gave the explanation of the vibration, of how the vibration is able to go into the depth of the cells in the body and change the oscillation, and it will start resonating with the holy name and the spiritual soul. And because of this resonance, there will be an awakening. And then we spoke about how the process that Srila Prabhupada brought us into this awakening of this vibration, then we can find back our real identity. And in order to do that, we came back again to understand the lust that is actually really a foundation of all this illusion and leading us astray from our path, how to bring that lust back into ourselves, not as an enemy, but rather as a friend. And how do we do that? By transforming that lust into love. And how do we do that? By engaging the places where it is hidden, mind, senses, and intelligence, directing it into the service of Lord Krishna. Yes? So this was the summary of the class. So is there any questions or comments? We have 7 minutes. Do we give a microphone, or how does it work? Or you can just ask and I will say it. You have any questions or comments? Yes.
It's not a question, just a reflection, just how useful that class was. It really deeply resonated and touched me, and touched my heart, and brought so much of inspiration and determination to my practice in Krishna consciousness. So really thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, yes. Yes. Thank you so much. That was really, really, really nice. And yes, the soul is definitely the life of the body. And everything that is happening is just for the soul. And the body makes sense only because of the soul. You know, there is this beautiful example of, sometimes I made it do as a drama with my students. And then I tell them like, okay, so I need two people and they will be the cage. And then there will be a little bird inside. And then the person is coming and is cleaning the golden cage every single day. But the person is not feeding the bird. And then slowly, slowly the bird is like, you know, going down, weaker and weaker and weaker. And the purpose is like, what is the purpose of having a golden cage with a bird inside if you are not feeding the bird? And this is what we are doing with the body. The golden cage is the body, and the soul is the bird. Are we feeding the soul, or are we only taking care of the cage? It doesn't make sense. So we really have to take care of our soul. And it's true, we might not have time because bills and wars and so many things. But we really, really need to give that precious time for our soul. And because that is actually the reason why we are even here. And we are trying to even open that golden cage. And one day, like, you know, we will be free. But if we only thought about that golden cage, then we are just, you know, what is the purpose? And many people, like when you see this on a drama type of way, you really like relate with it. And it's like, oh my God, I'm actually just cleaning the cage every day. There is nothing else that I am doing. So I will stop here. We have few more minutes just to set up everything for Gora Arti. And we did mention that we want to have a relationship with Krishna during the class. And relationship means that we open our heart to Krishna and we actually talk to Krishna. And we also want to sing. And we said in the beginning of the class that it's not about beautiful voice or not. So the words are over there. We try to sing because the singing is vibration. And the vibration is so powerful. Can you imagine that in the spiritual world, every step is a dance and every word is a song? So we want to start practicing for that, right? So we want to learn to sing and we want to like be able to like open our heart and get into that beautiful relationship with Krishna. We don't want to just be sitting and watching. We're not in a zoo. We are like really actually coming to, you know, see the Lord and open our heart and have a tangible, deep relationship with Krishna. Yes. That is the food for the soul. Yes, and this is actually how we nourish the soul. So it's our great opportunity to be here in this amazing temple to finally nourish our soul and not only take care of our golden cage. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai Gaura Premanande Haribo. Thank you so much for your attention.
Are you alright? You comfortable to see? Jump hard up.
Motherji, it's my birthday today. Is it okay?
Happy birthday,
Thank you, Motherji. Thank you. That's fine.
Sing for Krishna for your birthday.
Oh, no problem. That's fine. Sorry. It's okay.
In the string of prayers you sing, okay? And you can also sing now to greet the deities, okay? Deal? Happy birthday. Shri Radha Gokula Nanda ki, Sitaram Lakshmana Hanumana ki, Shri Gaurnitai ki, Dai Go Premanandi. This Mridanga. Kipa Jaya Jaya Gauda Chande Adoti Kesoba. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Adoti Kesoba. Janavi Tatavani Jagamana Nityananda Krishna Bolo Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadha Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jai Nitai Gaur. Advaita Gadadha Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta Nitai Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Rama Premanande. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Mahamsa Parik Raja Kacharya Astota Sarasata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Dhamacharya Srila Haridas Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kundu Radha Kundgiri Govardhana Ki Rajabhumi Vrindavan Dhama Ki Madhpur Navadip Dhama Ki Jagannath Puri Kshetra Ki Bhaktivedanta Manor Dhama Ki Shri Krishna Janmastami Maha Mahotsava Ki Shri Krishna Janmastami Maha Mahotsava Ki Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava Ki Anantikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan ki, the Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna.
I did, and then I came back. Or maybe I didn't go home. Maybe I didn't go home. For Yatra. We are going Yatra.
Oh, I do that.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
Sorry if I sing very loud.
That's alright.
All men sing lower than me. And all ladies sing so low.